One of the greatest mistakes individuals make on their path to success is the premature exposure of their plans. There is a hidden power in silence, in withholding one's intentions until the foundation is solid and the results undeniable. The mind, when focused and undisturbed by external influence, becomes a powerful mechanism for creation. But when the energy of your ideas is scattered through unnecessary speech, it weakens the force that brings them to life. It is tempting to share. The mind seeks validation. The ego desires applause for even the intention to do something great. However, ideas are like seeds, delicate in their early stages. You do not plant a seed today and immediately invite the world to admire the fruit. First, you protect it. You shield it from the storm. You nourish it in silence until the roots are deep enough to endure the pressure. Only then does the tree reveal itself. When you share your goals prematurely, you expose them to the doubts, fears, and skepticism of others. And often people do not intend to harm you. They simply do not see what you see. Their vision is limited by their own experiences and beliefs. They do not have access to the inner conviction that fuels you. As a result, they may question, criticize, or mock your dreams, not because they are bad people, but because they are not aligned with your vision. Their words can plant seeds of doubt where there once was certainty. That tiny crack in your belief may grow if left unchecked. Moreover, the act of talking about your goals can trick the mind into believing it has already achieved something. The applause you receive for a plan, rather than its execution, can satisfy the ego prematurely. It kills the hunger before the work is done. Many fail not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they mistook talk for progress. They gave speeches before they had built results. They spent energy impressing people rather than building their dream. Every great achievement begins in the invisible realm of thought. It is birthed in the silence of the mind, cultivated through repetition, visualization, and unwavering faith. It does not need to be shouted from the rooftops. It needs to be believed in privately, deeply, consistently. Those who understand this principle work diligently in the shadows. They are not moved by the need for recognition. They are driven by purpose. When the time is right, their work is undeniable. Keeping your goals to yourself is not about secrecy. It is about sacredness. There is a difference. That which is sacred must be guarded. You do not expose it to just anyone, for it is not yet ready to withstand scrutiny. Instead, you honor it. You protect it with discipline. You give it the space to grow strong and unshakable. As you move forward, discipline your speech. Speak less of what you will do and more of what you have done. Let your actions form the narrative. Let success announce your presence, not the noise of empty promises. You owe no one your vision before it's ready. Protect your dream like a precious gem, for once exposed too early, it may never become what it was meant to be. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is strength in incubation. The most powerful forces on earth, gravity, time, thought, work in silence. So should you. There is an invisible force that governs success, relationships, leadership, and self-mastery, your ability to control your emotions. A man who cannot govern his own emotions will forever be governed by others. The world is full of distractions, provocations, and subtle manipulations aimed at breaking your composure. If you react to everything, you become a puppet to circumstance. But when you learn to remain calm, focused, and unmoved by the noise, you become a master of your destiny. Emotions are energy. They have power, both to build and to destroy. When directed with intention, emotions like passion, enthusiasm, and even anger can fuel extraordinary achievement. But when left undisciplined, those same emotions become a fire that burns indiscriminately, consuming opportunity, relationships, and peace of mind. The man who bursts with rage at criticism, crumbles under pressure, is not yet free. He is bound to the shifting winds of mood and opinion. Many people confuse emotional expression with strength. They believe that sharing every thought and feeling is a form of authenticity. But true strength lies not in the exhibition of emotion, but in the intelligent management of it. A strong mind processes before it reacts. It chooses the appropriate response rather than surrendering to impulse. It does not reveal everything it feels, for it knows that not every feeling deserves a voice, and not every situation deserves a reaction. Your emotions, when exposed unnecessarily, make you predictable. Predictability is weakness in the game of life. When others can read your feelings like an open book, they can learn how to manipulate you. If they know what frustrates you, they will push that button. If they know what flatters you, they will exploit that too. But when you keep your emotions guarded, you become unreadable, untouchable. You maintain the upper hand not by force, but by control. This does not mean becoming cold or distant. It means becoming disciplined. It means learning the difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is automatic. It is emotional. Responding is deliberate. It is strategic. One comes from weakness, the other from strength. When you respond, you pause long enough to choose power over panic, clarity over confusion, and purpose over pride. The greatest leaders, the most effective communicators, and the most successful individuals in any field have learned this principle. In the face of chaos, they remain calm. In the presence of insult, they remain composed. Their minds are trained. Their spirits are anchored. This is not natural. It is earned through consistent effort, observation, and the willingness to outgrow childish reactions. Consider how many opportunities have been lost in a moment of uncontrolled emotion. How many bridges burned, deals broken, reputations stained, all because someone could not pause, breathe, and respond with wisdom. The cost of emotional immaturity is far greater than the temporary satisfaction of emotional expression, and the reward for mastering your emotions is far greater than any external validation could offer. When you master your emotions, you gain the ability to stay focused under pressure, to make decisions with clarity, and to lead others with strength and confidence. You are not easily provoked, and therefore not easily defeated. You become a force of stability in a world of instability. To govern your emotions, you do not give others the keys to your reactions. You hold them firmly in your own hand. And when you do, the world cannot shake you. The storms may come, but you remain steady. That is the mark of true power. There is a certain magic in silence, a power so often overlooked by those who rush to declare their intentions before they have even begun the journey. To move in silence is not to hide from the world, but to walk with quiet confidence, knowing that what you are building does not require the applause of the crowd to gain strength. The man who moves in silence builds a fortress around his focus, He is not distracted by the need to impress, nor is he slowed down by the weight of expectations placed upon him by others. The greatest transformations take place in silence. A seed does not scream when it breaks through the soil. The sun does not announce itself as it rises. It raises. Power is not always loud. In fact, the most effective power is often invisible until it reveals results. So too must you learn to cultivate your ambition in private. Your vision, when guarded, gains clarity. Your energy, when preserved, gains force. And your results, when finally revealed, speak louder than any promise ever could. The need to be seen, the desire to be validated, these are traps that ensnare the undisciplined mind. When you share too much, too soon, you open the door to opinions, resistance, and envy. You give others access to your path. And with that access comes distraction. Not everyone will wish you well. Not everyone will understand your purpose. Some will doubt you simply because they cannot see themselves doing what you aim to do. Others will silently compete with you, hoping you never reach your goal. Why feed them? Why give away your edge? Moving in silence gives you that edge. It allows you to fail in private, learn without pressure, and grow without judgment. It gives you space to change your mind, to adapt, to adjust course without having to explain yourself. The moment you speak, you invite critique. The moment you declare, you commit publicly. That may be useful in certain seasons, but in the early stages of your journey, it is often a burden. Silence does not mean inaction. It means concentration. It is a discipline of the mind, a practice of self-control. While others are talking, you are doing, and while others are performing, you are preparing. And when the time is right, when the foundation is laid, the strategy is sound, and the results are undeniable. You emerge. Not as someone who talked about what they would do, but as someone who did it. This is the difference between noise and impact. Noise is temporary. It demands attention, but rarely delivers substance. Impact is lasting. It needs no introduction because its presence is felt. The man who moves in silence does not need to convince others. He allows his success to be the evidence. In a world that glorifies oversharing and applauds every minor step as though it were a destination, you must have the strength to be different. Let others talk. Let them boast. Let them broadcast every move. You, however, must remain grounded in your purpose, focused on the process. Let your actions be your voice and let your achievements speak for you. There will come a time when the silence breaks, when your work shines so brightly it can no longer be ignored. When that day comes, you will not need to say, "I told you so." The results will say it for you. Until then, protect your vision. Walk with quiet strength, move in silence, and let your greatness unfold in its own time. There is a quiet force that commands attention without uttering a single word. It is the force of mystery. In a world that constantly demands explanation, exposure, and self-disclosure, there is immeasurable power in remaining partially unknown. Mystery creates intrigue. It draws others in not by revealing everything, but by revealing only what is necessary. The moment you become fully readable, you lose the element of surprise, and with it, a great deal of influence. When people cannot fully define you, they become curious. Curiosity breeds respect. It breeds caution. They hesitate to assume, to underestimate, because they do not know the full scope of what you're capable of. That hesitation is leverage. The mysterious man does not need to prove anything. His silence suggests control. And his unpredictability demands attention. Most people speak too quickly, share too freely, and expose too much. In doing so, they rob themselves of power. They become easy to label, easy to figure out, and easy to dismiss. But the man who understands the value of mystery is always underestimated until it is too late. He reveals his intentions only when the time is right, and by then his moves are already in motion, irrevocable and effective. Mystery is not about deceit. It is about discipline. It is not about hiding who you are, but about revealing yourself with intention. Everything does not need to be explained. Everyone does not need access. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your strategies, these are treasures, and when given too freely, they lose value. A wise man knows how to be transparent without being exposed. He can connect with others without revealing the entire map of his soul. There is also safety in mystery. When people don't know your next move, they can't interfere. When they can't predict your behavior, they can't control it. The moment you become predictable, you become vulnerable. But when you operate with mystery, others are forced to watch, wait, and wonder. That puts you in a position of psychological power, not through manipulation, but through restraint. Consider the lion in the wild. It does not roar to declare its hunt. It moves silently, eyes fixed, steps measured. Its presence alone sends a message. And when it strikes, there is no warning, only results. So too must you learn to move. Let your presence speak. Let your silence say more than your words ever could. Be the man who is respected not because he boasts, but because he doesn't need to. Mystery also breeds confidence. When you no longer feel the need to constantly explain yourself, you gain a deep sense of internal validation. You become rooted in your own certainty. You stop seeking approval and start embodying your power. That shift changes how you carry yourself. You speak with purpose, move with intention, and act with conviction, because you are no longer trying to be understood by others. In every arena, business, relationships, personal growth, his boundaries are clear, his priorities are clear, his energy is protected. His presence is felt, he is not invisible, but he is not fully known either. And that is what makes him compelling. To understand the power of mystery is to understand the value of what is unseen. The strongest foundations are built underground. The deepest rivers run silently. And the most powerful individuals don't shout. They observe, they listen, and they move with quiet certainty. Be that man, carry the mystery with pride. Let them wonder. Let them guess. Let your results do the explaining. In a world where everyone wants access to your time, your thoughts, your energy, and your spirit, the wise man learns early that not everyone deserves it. Access is a privilege, not a right. To give yourself freely to anyone who asks is to devalue your worth. You must become the gatekeeper of your own mind and soul, for what you allow in will shape what comes out. Your success, your peace, and your power depend on your ability to guard who you let into your inner circle. Many fall into the trap of trying to please everyone, of being available to all, and of sharing themselves too generously. But in doing so, they dilute their power. Every conversation, every interaction, every emotional exchange is an investment. Some investments pay dividends, others drain you dry. And once your energy is spent on the wrong people, there's little left for what truly matters. Not all who smile are friends. Not all who flatter are allies. Some people seek proximity not to help you, but to use you. They want information, influence, or inspiration, but they do not intend to give in return. They drain your spirit with their complaints, their jealousy, their doubts disguised as concern. These people do not want to see you rise. They want to keep you at a level they're comfortable with. And if you do not draw the line, they will gladly cross it again and again. You must become intentional with your circle. Choose to surround yourself with those who uplift, who challenge you to grow, who respect your time and your boundaries. If someone constantly brings chaos, negativity, or distraction into your life, they have no place in your future. It is not cruel to walk away. It is necessary. You are not obligated to maintain connections that cost you your peace. Just as you would not leave the door of your home open for anyone to walk in, you must not leave the door of your mind unguarded. Every conversation you have, every story you share, every plan you disclose, it should be done with discernment. Ask yourself, has this person earned the right to know this part of me? Will they protect what I share or expose it? Will they contribute to my journey or take from it? Even those closest to you must be evaluated. Family, friends, longtime companions, they too must be held to the standard of energy alignment. Longevity does not guarantee loyalty. Familiarity does not guarantee support. The wise man does not confuse history with harmony. He understands that sometimes the very people you started with cannot follow you into the next chapter. Your energy is sacred. Your dreams are sacred. Your time is sacred. Treat them as such. Be slow to trust, but quick to observe. Quick to observe. Watch how people respond to your wins. Listen carefully to the tone behind their words. Pay attention to the ones who disappear when you're down and reappear only when they see something they want. These are your clues. Your instincts are not paranoid. They are protective. Trust them. To restrict access is not arrogance. It is the realization that your destiny requires protection, not from enemies, but from distractions, not from obvious threats, but from quiet sabotage disguised as friendship. The fewer people who know the details of your life, the fewer who can sabotage it, intentionally or not. Build your circle with care. Share yourself with purpose. And understand this, the man who gives everyone access will eventually have nothing left for himself. But the man who protects his energy becomes unstoppable, focused and free. Let that be the man you choose to become. Silence is often misunderstood. In a noisy world, people equate silence with weakness, with passivity, or with lack of direction. But silence is none of those things. Silence, when chosen with intention, is a mark of deep wisdom. It is not the absence of power. It is the evidence of control. The man who can remain silent in moments of chaos, criticism, or temptation holds a strength few possess. He does not need to speak to be heard. His restraint speaks louder than any outburst ever could. Life will present many opportunities to react. There will be moments when your pride is tested, when your patience is pushed to its limits, when you are tempted to defend yourself, to prove a point, to have the last word. And yet in those very moments, silence can be your most strategic weapon. It creates space between stimulus and response. It gives you time to think, to evaluate, to decide from a place of purpose rather than emotion. Those who are quick to speak are often easy to read. They give away their thoughts too freely, expose their emotions too openly, and reveal their weaknesses without knowing it. But the man who says little, who listens more than he talks, keeps others guessing. He becomes unpredictable, and unpredictability is power. When people cannot anticipate your reaction, they cannot control your direction. Silence allows you to observe, and the man who observes without interrupting gains the full picture. He sees the motives behind the words, the patterns behind the behavior, and the opportunities hidden beneath the surface. While others are busy speaking, trying to be heard, the silent man is gathering knowledge. He watches. He learns. He waits. And when he finally acts, his move is precise, calculated, effective, and often impossible to counter. There is a calmness that comes with silence. It brings composure in moments of pressure. It allows you to carry yourself with dignity, even in the face of insult or betrayal. The loud man is often insecure, seeking validation through volume. But the silent man is secure within himself. He does not chase recognition. He lets results speak. He does not beg to be understood. He allows time to reveal the truth. Consider the greatest moments of loss, conflict, or misunderstanding in your life. How many were made worse by words spoken too soon, in anger or fear? How many bridges were burned because the tongue was faster than the mind? And how many problems would have dissolved on their own had you simply remained silent and let time do the talking? Silence is not suppression. It is not weakness. It is a chosen pause. It is the ability to rule over your tongue, and in doing so, rule over your circumstances. The man who knows when to speak and when to remain silent is a man in control of himself, and by extension, in control of his world. This power is not granted. It is cultivated. It comes from self-awareness, from emotional discipline, from a deep understanding that not every situation deserves a reaction. Some things are better left unsaid. Some moments are better owned in silence than lost in noise. To move forward in life with clarity and purpose, learn the value of silence. Do not confuse it with absence. Do not mistake it for surrender. It is neither. It is presence in its purest form. It is the ability to stand tall without explanation, to endure without retaliation, and to act without announcement. The world listens differently to the man who speaks less. His words, when finally spoken, carry weight. His presence, even in silence, commands respect. That man, let your silence be strategy. Let it be strength. Let it be the unseen force that drives everything you do.